Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting a like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. And let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now today's first story comes from Ol Me Lads from Am I Overreacting subreddit and says, am I overreacting? I left my boyfriend because he uninvited me to his birthday, as per his friend's wishes. A bit of a long one, sorry in advance. So me, 18 female, and my boyfriend, 18 male, have been together just over a year. It's been a little rocky over the last couple of months. He often says things about my friends which aren't very nice. He tried to give me ultimatums on my guy friends I've known since I was 5, etc. And the final straw was him uninviting me to his 18th birthday, because his friends didn't want me there. He does have a bit of a habit of twisting the truth and has come out with loads of random lies, so I don't know if they ever even said that. He doesn't really like me being involved with his friends and doesn't seem to like mine too much. The only reason I can think they don't like me is one of his female friends was dumped by her ex and she was really on him for comfort. Like, a lot. At first I get she was upset, but I'd walk around the corridor at 6th form and she'd be hanging on to him and around his neck crying all the time. So I asked him to please respect boundaries as it felt disrespectful towards me. He didn't like this, so told me he was picking her side and that his friend said I was controlling and it wasn't fun when I was around, so uninvited me. This was kind of the final straw, so I said okay. Have your birthday party as you want it, and said maybe we shouldn't be together anymore if I'm not respected or wanted around. I was really hurt but walked away from it all, and soon unfriended him on social media when I saw him talking about his newfound freedom and just posting really cryptic mean things that seemed to be aimed towards me. My own 18th birthday was a few weeks after, so I'd been planning my own birthday, with the help of one of my friends who had been trying to cheer me up. She informed me that he'd been posting really sad emo-like stuff on Facebook about how heartbroken he was about a week after I unfriended him. He also apparently planned another night out with his friends, to be on the same day as my birthday night out, in the same city. I feel a bit he's trying to now gatecrash my birthday fun. I'm not sure if he feels bad about how he acted, or if I overreacted for leaving him because I wasn't invited to his birthday. I just don't understand the sudden 180 on his attitude. I'm wondering if I should have just accepted his wishes, even if it did hurt. Nah, for me it's absolutely right to step away from this situation. It felt like the whole girl hanging off his neck and crying all the time. You know, he was either loving the attention and the drama of being someone's, knight in shining armor, or there was more going on behind the scenes, which, in reality, both of those scenarios suck. And I was thinking maybe she was invited to the birthday and he didn't want you to come so he could get closer to her, etc. Absolutely, just be out of that situation. You dodged a bullet, all that good stuff. But again, I would trust your gut that he's going to turn up at your birthday party because he's going to try his best now to get you back in some way. But a commenter says, you're young, with your whole life ahead of you. Don't waste your youth on someone who can't be honest with you, who doesn't respect you and your boundaries. I'm glad you're realizing this now when you're 18. I took much longer. Opie says, you don't think I was overreacting then? He's very bad at apologizing. I don't know if this is him trying to apologize or if he genuinely just wants to snoop on my birthday event. Commenter says, it's his birthday party. If he really wanted you there, he would have told his friends to back off. If you think he's lying about them saying that, that means they don't even have the trust with him that you should. You could reach out to his friends too. The fact that he doesn't want you around his friends is weird. You're also young and you have a long time to find someone who actually cares. If you don't feel like this is worth breaking up after, talk to him and see how he acts. You're not overreacting. He's acting weird. OP responds saying it does feel like some weird power play. But I don't know because I'm new to this and being my first serious relationship, I guess. But it almost feels like because I haven't gone groveling and crying to him, he's turning the tables. He did initially try and contact me and said how lonely he was and how much he missed me. I replied with, so? and he had the audacity to say I was acting cold and how hurtful it was. Maybe I dodged a bullet. Commenter replies to OP and says, "It's fine to act cold towards an ex who hurt you during the breakup. Don't let his attempts to guilt you and the societal pressure girls go through growing up to play nice and not make a fuss, because you feel bad for him. He did this to himself. There are consequences of his actions. If you give in and take him back, you'll be proving that he can get away with treating you like crap." To which OP responded saying, "Yeah, I didn't want to really have any hard confrontation because I didn't want to give his friends that opinion on me. But then my mother reminded me, why do I care? They aren't my friends anyway. And she's right." Another commenter says, "Not overreacting. I dated someone who made those micro lies about nothing of consequence. It's a disease and makes it so you cannot trust anything they say. You made the right decision for your own mental health." OP says, "Honestly, yes. It's about the most mundane shit too. Like he lies constantly about everything. Like I'm a big fan of a game series and he lied and told me there was a new one. I checked, there wasn't. When I called him out on it, he got extremely defensive and said, I must have just not heard him properly." And a final commenter says, "Not overreacting. Most likely he hooked up with that friend. He did the immature boy thing, which is push you away until you take action, and now he regrets it. Don't take that as him caring for you. It's a I want my cake kind of thing. Let the loser go. He's a little submissive bitch to his friends. You want someone who has some more autonomy and makes their own path. Also, take this as a gift. You're at a good age to be unattached and make selfish choices that will build a future you want. Don't let a dude be the author of your story. And if he crashes your birthday, treat him like a pathetic loser. I'm so serious. Practice being a mean bitch. He's gonna call you one anyways, no matter how this shakes out. Might as well get your zingers in and have a fun story about that loser ex that you mic dropped on your own birthday, boosted up by all your friends." OP responded saying, "I have my suspicions that he did like her, or the attention. There is one person in his class that asked if I was okay after the news went around, and said this girl is apparently known for doing this stuff. I mean, I'm a little insecure, but she must be mad insecure to have to do that. She can have him and his unwashed ass." So, OP came in sometime later to give their update and says, "Update. First of all, I want to say thank you to any birthday wishes I had. I spent most of my weekend nursing a sore head after enjoying my 18th in the city and had a blast. Now onto the stuff I know people are here for. So my now ex did in fact have his night out to coincide with mine. In the same city, in the places he'd know I'd circle. I'm quite gothic, so I went to those kinds of bars. Pretty much as I suspected he would. First off, as my friends and I were walking through the city to our next place, him and his friends came out of a place a little further ahead of us. He clocked us immediately and kept sort of dragging back and turning around and looking at us as we were walking the same direction. Honestly, it was pretty awkward. We just kind of tried to ignore him at first, but then his friends turned around to see what he was doing and noticed us too. Some came over and were really nice, considering how much they were supposed to dislike me. In his words, they were smiling and saying hello, asking what we were doing out and why didn't I come to his birthday, that they didn't realize it was mine. He, on the other hand, said nothing, just stood there shifting on his feet. His group ended up inviting us along and I was a bit hesitant, but turns out they were going to the same place we were anyway. Shocker. So he keeps trying to talk to me and I just brush him off with yes or no answers or whatever. And he starts crying, asking why I'm being so cold and everything, saying shit like, oh, so you really do hate me? And I'm like, dude, I'm not interested in this. It's my birthday night out. Please just leave me alone. Eventually, his friends ended up moving to a different place and wished us good night, and he started literally screaming to them about how I'm being so heartless, etc., and won't talk to him, and how I dumped him, and how I was likely cheating on him since my long-term friend was there. He was very understanding, and I apologized profusely to him. It was fucking embarrassing. In the middle of the street, like people were looking and everything, whilst he was having this absolute meltdown about how I'm a cold-hearted bitch, etc. Some of his friends ended up just walking off while some tried to console him, whilst one of my friends reminded him he didn't want me at his birthday in the first place. Meanwhile, I'm just enjoying a cocktail with my friends, watching this all unfold like a drama series. My friends found the whole thing entertaining, so did inform me of any weird funny shit he put on social media the next morning. Had a couple of friend requests from some of his friends and messages saying that they had a blast. Of course, I had a lot of texts from his number too, and missed calls. I didn't even bother reading them. I'm too busy enjoying being free from this shit, maybe enjoying how cathartic the whole thing is. Thanks again to everyone who reminded me to get out, because honestly, it showed just how manipulative it was, making this big dramatic screaming and crying fuss in public. So I'm happy I'm now away from it, and good luck to whoever else has to deal with him in the future. Peace. Edit. I'm from the very north of the UK. The legal drinking age here is 18. Please stop assuming the world revolves around Americanized ways. It's not the point of the post. Top commenter says to OP on this one, good call leaving that one behind. He's a whole twat. Never believe for a single second his remorse is for you. It's only for his own loss. OP says thanks. I knew immediately that his charade was only for his own benefit, either to garner sympathy or manipulate even more. It was like watching a toddler throw a tantrum. Commenter says, I'd block him if I were you. Nothing to be gained from him messaging you. Happy birthday, and glad he saved the further hassle and drama he would have caused by showing his true colours. OP says, I do have him unfriended, so it all just goes into a request. I just leave it there as I'm still slightly stung. And for a reminder for the shit I do not want to tolerate again. What a bloody Burke he is, and I definitely still stand by that, when he was being the knight in shining armor for that girl, letting her cry around his neck and all this kind of thing, that I think he was going to invite her along or something along those lines to his birthday. I was 100% enjoying that attention and didn't want OP around to ruin that. But in the end, it all backfired. OP just sat there in the corner, sipping on a little cheeky cocktail, enjoying the drama. Don't blame her at all for that, good on her. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from that one girly X05 from the relationship advice subreddit, and it says, my 21 female friend, 21 female, invited herself on my trip and won't take no for an answer. Advice, please. My US friend group is pretty diverse, and we've all visited each other's home countries in the past 2 years. We either stayed in a hotel or a family home, depending on space. I'm going to my home country for 2.5 months in the summer. All of my friends have known since Christmas pretty much, and all of them know it's not an open invite like usual because I'm not going for fun. I'm spending my time there with my family, and I'm going to be busy with my fiance finalizing everything wedding related. So, my friend decided that she didn't want to go home for the summer, instead wanted to come with me, and decided that she'd just stay at my family home like before. I told her that it really won't be a good time. Plus, we're not opening the family home for anyone outside of family this year, for a very good reason. Instead of accepting that, she asked about my other accommodations. I told her they're in use and not available. I didn't offer a hotel, and from the way she's been talking, she can't afford one right now. So instead of giving up, she said that she can just go there and figure it out then, which in my opinion translates to, I will fly there and make it your problem, so you have no choice but to accommodate me. I told her if she does that, she'll have to truly figure it out on her own because I'm not budging or folding. She laughed it off and told me that obviously because she didn't mean it like an ultimatum. I asked her if she's okay, if there's something going on at home or with her personally, etc. Because it's not like her to do something like this. She said everything's good. I, however, feel like I'm stuck. If she goes through with her brilliant figure it out plan, she'd be a foreign woman in a country she's only visited twice before with a guide, aka me, who doesn't speak the native language or understand the map, etc. I can't leave her alone no matter what I've warned her I'd do. Advice, please. Hell no, she's definitely trying that on. She's definitely doing this, that she is going to turn up and is going to make it your problem no matter what. I was kind of, not that it really matters in the situation, but I was kind of wondering what country we're talking about here. The way that OP was describing it about friend not speaking the language, doesn't understand the maps, has only been twice with a guide, it was sort of making it sound that it wasn't like a tourist hotspot like Paris or Barcelona or something like that. But yeah, the whole thing is pretty manipulative in my opinion. I'd be just direct with him and saying, look, if you do this, it is going to be on you, and just be 100% with that. Like, that's not going to change. And top commenters said similar really. They said, I'd just be really direct with her. Hey, I know we usually travel in groups, but this trip really is just for fiance and I. We're staying with family and we've got a packed schedule. I genuinely will not have the time to spend with you nor the space to accommodate you, and then just leave it. Don't share any more info about your trip, not the date you're going or the flight you're booked on. She's an adult. If she makes the choices to go down there on vacation, that's totally up to her. But she has to fend for herself because you made it clear this was not an open invitation and you're not going to be entertaining or hosting her. Opie says the thing is that I've already told her all of this, but I think she thinks we're all being over dramatic or something. She doesn't know the exact date I'm leaving or my flight details, but she doesn't need it to in a way. She knows the time frame, which is early July to early September, so she can technically fly there within that. I know that if she does go through with it, that I need to stick to my guns, but I will also be worried about her because it's the same person who's gotten lost in malls multiple times. Lol. Commenter says, text her so it's written and she can't say she misunderstood. As I mentioned before, I will be visiting my family and we are not inviting anyone this year. The family has plans and I will not be available at all during that period. Or something like that. Very clear and to the point. Do not leave any room for interpretation. Opie says something similar is written out in our friend's group chat, so I guess that counts. I think I would have doubled down on that as well, saying something similar. Again, that's leaving it open for that interpretation that commenter was talking about. But 12 hours later in the same post, Opie adds an edit and says, so I took the advice and sent her a long text copy pasted from one of the comments with just a few things changed up. Then I sent another text to my friend's group chat just to make sure again that they know it's not an open invite. And then I wrote out why I'm making sure and what's been said between my friend and I. She left me on scene privately but replied in the group chat that she's not daft. She understood me perfectly the first time, and what she decides to do with her time and vacation is none of my business. I told her that she should stop making it my business then and stop telling me about her summer plans altogether if it involves my home country. She replied that I don't have a claim to the country and that my family's reason for not opening up our home is stupid and that we need to get over ourselves because it's not the second coming of Christ. I told her that she's free to her opinion just like I'm free to mine, and that in my opinion she's acting like an entitled brat. I added that she should lose my number until she's ready to apologize. Tell me what's wrong because she's clearly not okay in my opinion. It's not like her, and talk it out like adults. If anyone's wondering, what she perceives as not the second coming of Christ is my eldest brother and his wife welcoming their second baby in mid-July, and my parents, my other older brothers, and I being the village, that we are helping them, while also spoiling my toddler nephew rotten. So no guests or visitors are allowed outside of our immediate family while my sister-in-law heals, and she and my brother adjust, per their request. So it was just over a month later that OP came in with an update and says, right, so I was asked to update when I made my first post, and I thought if she did end up coming after August and September. However, things ended up happening much sooner. We didn't talk for nearly 2.5 weeks after my last text, and I didn't see her much at Hangouts since she was mad at the rest of our friends as well. They didn't exactly take sides, but they did point out that her plan was plain stupid. Anyway, she ended up coming to one of the girls' places for a group dinner, and we had a private-ish chat. She finally opened up about why she's acting like that, and as it turns out, she has a huge crush on one of my brothers and was hoping she'd get him alone this summer and shoot her shot with him. It's annoying, but I've been used to having friends having crushes on my brothers and my dad my whole life, so I just let her talk. She admitted that she'd been sending him DMs on Instagram trying to get to know him, but he's been politely cordial at best and ignores half of her texts. Then she started asking me about him, about his dating history, which had me disgusted because he's bi, and she wanted statistics on if he's been more into girls or guys so she can figure out her chances, and then asked me to help her out. She gave me examples of moments that happened on our last trip with me and my brother. Dancing, water fights, karaoke, etc. that I could help her recreate with him, which is just disturbing because she made my brother and I sound romantic, and it just helped multiply my disgust. When she was done, I told her that she needed to come out of her fantasy and back to reality. She was starting to creep me the fuck out. I told her that the fact is that my brother isn't shy. If he was interested in her, he would act like it, and him ignoring her speaks volumes. Besides that, I told her that she knows I don't involve myself in any of my brother's relationships, and even if I did, I would never allow anyone to use me for insider information. Then I said that this conversation was over, and to never bring it up with me again. She got pissed and told me that I'm possessive and acting like a guard dog to my brothers, and that I need to get over myself because there was a spark between them on our last trip. I just got up, said bye to my friends and left because she's clearly deluded herself into believing something that doesn't exist. On our last trip, my brother was so into the guy he was seeing at the time that he accidentally called the rest of our brothers by his name multiple times. Lol. Anyway, I've cut her off completely, and with everything that's happening right now, she got scared of traveling and dropped her plans. What she told my friends. It sucks to lose her as a friend since we were close and all that, and I don't know how to affect our group yet. But shit happens and I have too much going on to dwell on it right now. I, on the other hand, moved up my traveling and will hopefully be back in my home country in the next few days, along with my family, which allows us to celebrate my dad and one of my brothers on Father's Day. So yay, we celebrate on the 21st there. Commenter says, I have a feeling I know where you're traveling and it's batshit crazy for this girl to think she can just rock up and wing it. Absolutely drop dead gorgeous country. I speak two of the local languages, and I'd still be more comfy traveling with a group or my partner. This is not a beginner level travel destination for the average American. Opie says if you're guessing Lebanon, then you would be right. And yes, I've lived there half my life, and I still get lost sometimes, taking shortcuts and ending up in a whole different area than the one I meant. Another commenter says, still a real possibility that she shows up at their house in the other country. Opie says she got scared with everything that's going on in the Middle East right now and put the idea out of her head. Still, even if she does somehow get to the airport, 100% she couldn't point a taxi driver north or south, much less manage to get to our home. Someone on how the brothers reacted and if they made fun of him when he called them the wrong name. Opie says they did, lol. Each time they or he entered the room, they would introduce themselves and explain who they are, like he's a dementia patient. He also got name tags for each of them so he can remember, and even got one for our, at the time, baby nephew, and pinned it to his onesie just in case, and refused to take them off when we went out. Commenter says, if and when I had a crush on someone, I would never ask someone to put us in a position to better my chances. If it doesn't happen organically, I don't want it. She's creepy and obsessive. Opie says, exactly. I'm now engaged to my eldest brother's best friend, but back when I was interested in him, and he still saw me as his best friend's little sister, I never ever asked my brother to play matchmaker or tell me stuff about him I could use to soften him up or shit like that. It would have been manipulation in my opinion, and just plain disgusting and desperate. I feel sorry for her because she's beautiful and any guy would be lucky to have her. She doesn't need to resort to tricks and lies. Gee bloody whiz. Imagine, this guy wasn't interested in her advances. Opie says if he was, he would have basically acted on it. So he wasn't receptive of those. But she's still gonna try and turn up to his house in a whole other country, Lebanon, to try and shoot her shot. Fucking hell's bells. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being here. And hopefully I'm going to see you in the next one. Take care and much love.